On today's show, why if you're a musician and you're running adverts to your Spotify page, you might need to think again.
This is 15-minute music marketing, and we're going to find out why.
Let's go.
Welcome to 15-Minute Music Marketing, the show for independent artists and DIY musicians who want to get better at marketing their music.
Hi, I'm Greg.
Hello, I'm Sheldon, and this is 15-Minute Music Marketing. Greg, give us 15 minutes and we'll make you a better music marketer.
Yeah, we've decided to give the program a bit of a revamp for 2023. And so today, Sheldon, you're going to be talking to us about
Spotify ads, the perceived wisdom if you want more Spotify streams. One of two things normally. It's either, you need to get on a playlist. We're not going to be talking about that today. The second one is, what you need to do, you need to run social media ads. That's ads from Facebook or Instagram, and directly or indirectly get people to your Spotify page. So that could be maybe using a landing page or maybe sending people from social media platforms to your Spotify page, introduce them to your music, get them to stream it there. Couple of different types of campaigns. One might be a traffic campaign, the other one might be a conversion campaign. But that is the perceived wisdom as to how to bring new people into your world and get your streams up, and everything will be hunky-dory. The more I think about it, Greg, the more I think this is a bad idea.
Yeah, but Sheldon, why would it be a bad idea to use my social media channels to tell people about my music, to bring plays to my Spotify where I can earn my pittance, but I can raise the awareness of my music? So hopefully people will want to come and listen to me live. Why is that a bad idea?
Well, that sounds fine in theory, but there's a couple of major stumbling blocks. The first one, Greg, is the price. Whenever you're doing any sort of advertising or marketing, it's cost per return. Now, depending on the type of campaign, I've mentioned types of campaigns just before, whether it's conversion campaign or whether it's a traffic campaign that's going directly from your social media account to Spotify, you could get the cost of each click, each person going across, to as maybe low as 15 pence, or maybe 15 cents a click. Pence and cents is pretty much interchangeable these days.
Are you talking about running conventional Google ads pay-per-click?
No, social media adverts. So it might be in Instagram.
Where did you get 15 cents per click from?
Because that's what it costs.
Is that how much it is now?
Yeah. We've only talked maybe previously about cost per video view. So we're actually sending people off the platform, and each one of those clicks is going to cost maybe, it starts depending on whether you've optimised your campaigns and whether you've done lots of testing to find the cheapest possible advert.
Am I paying for the campaign plus paying for the response? Or am I just paying for the response?
You will have a budget and you will eventually end up paying per response.
Right, okay. But I would have thought that those people clicking on that to go are the ones that are definitely going to continue and be more, not just a general punter, but someone who really likes my music. Why is that a bad idea?
Do the math, Greg. How much is each Spotify play worth? How much does it earn you in royalties?
Yeah, okay, but the thing is though, I would be really foolish as an artist to put music on Spotify and think that business model is going to earn me the same amount of money as I would get from regular CDs. No. So I'm looking at it as kind of raising awareness.
Right. The thing is, I watched a video from a popular music marketer. It does really well. It sells its courses on how YouTube can...
like a lot of them
like a lot of people. We don't. We don't. We really don't want your money. We're not bothered.
Although a few more views. Hence,
a few more views. Yeah. Spread the love. Spread the love. Right. So he launched a new side project. So the same sort of thing I'm doing. And he had a particular budget, and that budget from this new side project, starting from nothing, all the streams were generated through traffic and nothing else. And it was shy of 300,000 Spotify streams for his tracks over the course of a year. Budget, $5,000. How much did he earn through Spotify royalties? Well, you can go onto a calculator, and at best, $1,500. Maybe actually more nearer $1,200. So you do the math, Greg. You're spending £5,000 to make, dollars, to make 1,500 at the most.
Yeah, but
You can't sustain those maths. It doesn't make sense.
yeah, but the thing is, though, I'm in it for the long game. Actually, no. Like
But
most musicians, they're not in it for the long game. They're thinking short term.
Admittedly, you might not necessarily get. You might get more than one stream per person who's transferred across. You might get somebody who saves it to come back to it later, and they might also put it on a playlist. But if you're spending that much money to lose that much money, I mean, admittedly, when there will come a point whereby if Spotify recognises all this traffic coming to a particular track, it'll start seeding it out algorithmically, and you can get more sort of plays that way. But when's that going to come, Greg? When's it going to come? And how much will you be in the hole before that happens?
Okay, question.
Think about it.
Question, though.
Yes.
How many people are going to potentially go from Spotify to YouTube and stream it that way? So then I got an additional revenue stream from other streaming platforms.
Well, that sort of leads me onto my second point, is that really Spotify isn't the best platform in order to create fans. We've described Spotify as very much a lean back experience rather than a lean forward experience.
Can you explain? Actually,
Lean back just basically means you're not really paying much attention to it.
Oh, right. So it's more background music.
I was listening to my 2 hours worth of new music on Friday on Spotify. Half the time I don't even bother. It's like a radio in the background. But you don't get to interact with any of those people who are going directly from Spotify, from your social media network to Spotify. You can't have a chat with them.
No.
You can't have a conversation with them. You can't get them to, direct message you and offer them something in the process.
This is why I'm a fully signed up member of YouTube Premium,
Right.
rather than Spotify, just because I think it offers better value for money, as a side note. But yeah, okay, I see your point with Spotify. I think of it more like going into a library. You're going in there for a specific thing, and then you kind of engage with that. Whereas, and I think YouTube used to be like that, but now, once it gets familiar with what you're doing, and obviously it's so much easier to get an idea of something by visually looking at it rather than, you can't have listenable thumbnails, can you?
I think, in short, if you're doing this particular strategy, you're increasing your play count, but you're not really gaining any real fans. People are consuming your music, but you're not really getting a fan out of it.
So how are you grasping a real fan?
Someone who is not necessarily just going to follow you, but is quite interested in your, let's just use the term, journey and what you're doing. They want more from you than just the music. From Spotify, that's all you're literally getting. You're just getting music.
You're getting
like not the worst possible, but you're just getting the bare minimum out of what is your world.
So are you bitching about Spotify?
I'm not bitching about Spotify. I'm just saying that if your main focus of marketing is just plays, A, you're going to lose a lot of money in the process, and B, you're going to have the lowest quality fans at the end of it.
Okay, so if it's a really bad idea and I'm not building up a real fan base,
Yep.
what should I do, Sheldon?
Well, there's a couple of options. First thing, you could, when you're running ads, rather than sending them to Spotify, you could try and send them to some sort of maybe landing page, get them to sign up to a mailing list and take them on a email-led journey. You could send them a sequence of emails whereby, like in terms of my particular band, I could start off with, let me tell you a tale about the first time we played Glastonbury Festival and how our our bass player decided to drive all the way through Glastonbury and out the other end, and then had to try and fight his way back in when he didn't have his wristband that he'd already been given, and he gets to Or I could
That
say,
doesn't sound like Bob.
And in the next email, you could say, right, let me tell you a story about our Christmas song that makes people cry. And they go, oh, what? And let me tell you another time about the time that we performed live on television, and someone that we met was an incredibly sweary celebrity off cat. You could introduce these new people to your world in these email stages, and then try and get them to buy something at the end of it. It's like, is our greatest hits in a T-shirt, and even if they don't buy then you've still got their email, and you can tell them about your tours, your future tours, your gigs, any new releases. You've got their contact details.
Okay.
Who are all these people coming across from these social media platforms to Spotify? You don't know.
Yeah, but okay, I get that. Contact,
Yeah.
information, being able to maintain, being able to develop a conversation. But I'm a musician,
Yeah.
and
you?
I'm speaking on behalf of the viewer and listener. I'm a musician, and all I care about is the music. Is the music not enough? Are my songs and my passion and enthusiasm not enough? Why do I have to bother with all the rest? That sounds boring. Or it sounds really time-consuming, which is taking me away from my art.
In order to get people away from just consuming at the bare minimum, which is streaming your music, you getting a micro royalty payment in return. What you're trying to do is you're trying to nurture a relationship where people like you, and you've let them into your world to such a significant degree that actually what they want to do is they want to, reward you for the deep relationship that you have with them, and they've followed you on your career and your journey, and they're going to be more willing to put their hand into their pocket. One thing you could do, if you don't want to go down the email route, is just try and keep the fans on that social platform. And, as you go about your business, maybe in terms of recording new material, doing live performances, going on tour, anything that you've got going on in your world, they can see that, they can follow your journey, and they're going to be more willing, hopefully, at the end of that, to, as I say, put their hands in their pockets and reward you for what you do, in whatever means that they're comfortable with. And again, it's trying to create a community of like-minded individuals around you and your music, which you can't necessarily do if you don't know who they are, because you're just literally creating a ladder from a social media platform to Spotify, and you'll never see or hear from them ever again.
So, okay, but I mean, in terms of I'm trying to put this into words. Okay, I get the point of building a conversation and you're able to kind of get an insight into your listeners' thought process and things like that. But all the big bands and artists, are they doing this?
Well, the thing is, they're probably trying to build a fan base first. And what people generally tend to do is, if they're engaged with you, and they will seek out your music on streaming automatically. I mean, it's not exactly a king's ransom of listeners, but, I've got, what is it? A very good amount of listeners. And I don't pay anything to send them to...
This is what I was going to say, to kind of start to wrap this up in terms of, so do you ever use, let me go to both cameras, do you ever use ads to send people to your Spotify?
Yes, but that's potentially when I release something, but I'm only advertising to my existing fan base. It's too expensive. If they're already engaged, then they're more likely to hop across.
Right, okay. So you're not actually spending money to encourage a new audience?
No. So this is it. I'm running ads against people who are what they refer to as a warm audience. They're already engaged. They already know who I am. So it's not much of an ask. It's going to be cheaper to send them across.
So, to summarise,
yes,
we don't want to pay ads to get people to go to Spotify because it doesn't build real fans. It's not value for money.
Not value for money
at all. And also, you should be doing other things, what you should be spending that money on?
Spending that money on raising awareness, introducing yourself to people, but maybe try and keep them on the platform where you're actually running the ads, so that whether that's Facebook or whether that's Instagram or whether it's even TikTok in this day and age, keep them on there, have them, regularly seeing your content, following you on your journey in terms of your musical exploit. And when, there comes a point that you're trying to get them to either stream your music or spend a little bit of money buying a piece of merch or going to see you at a show, it's going to be that much easier to do, and the rewards from that initial advert are going to be all the greater.
So there you go. Spend smart, not spend lots.
That's the idea. Do you agree, listener/viewer? What's your experience with Spotify adverts been?
Right in the comments beneath. Well, that has been today's 15-minute music marketing. And I hope it was of some use. I hope you like the new format. Hopefully there's going to be a lot more of these. And we will see you on the next episode.
See you on the next episode. Cheers now.
Bye.